our live. Hopefully, you'll hear Melisa as well. So, we wanted to drop in today and talk about courage.
Yes, let's talk about courage. I'm sorry that I haven't figured out the Facebook thing. If anybody knows how to have two people on Facebook, if you could help us out with that, that would be fantastic. I'm not sure why my profile is not allowing me to ask to join the live with Kaisa on Facebook. So if anybody has any insight, we'd appreciate your help. We've Googled it a couple of times and haven't found anything that's helpful.
Yeah,
But that's okay.
that's okay. We'll, figure things out as we go. That's technicalities are just vehicles. It's just how we want to deliver our message. Hopefully, you can all hear as well. But
Yes.
Melissa, can you share us a little bit more? I know we will be talking about more courage in 1.5 weeks,
Yeah.
or yeah, a week from now almost. But
Yes.
what do we want to cover today?
Yeah. Well, I actually have a question for our audience. I would like to know what kind of, what do you think about when you think about courage? What does that mean to you? I can tell you what it means to me. Kaisa probably has her own definition as well. And as we speak to our speakers, that's definitely going to be something that we ask them as well. What does it mean to lead with courage and to have the courage to lead the life that you want on your terms? So, for Kaisa, do you want to tell us a little bit about what that means to you?
Oh, I love this topic because I have a very personal take on this, let's say, because I didn't feel that I was courageous before. And I made very big life changes. And I kept hearing when I was sharing about my story to my friends and other people that they were just like, oh my God, you're so brave, you're so courageous. And I was like, what? Really? And then when I started to look back and what has changed, I was like, oh my God, I was a little bit even crazy back then. Like, so yes, maybe I was so courageous, but I didn't see it. I didn't acknowledge myself for all the things that I had done that required courage. One thing, courage. Um, so yeah, just shortly. I don't want to go too long because we'll go deeper next week in our event. But and I hope this is helpful for any of you because if you feel like, oh my God, like I'm not courageous, it doesn't mean huge things. It can mean like even like small things that we don't like notice and recognize. So what happened to me that I was only seeing the things that I was insecure, indecisive, I wasn't making the big decisions and life changes that I wanted. And then when I overcame the fears and wanting to control everything, uh, and I letting go a lot of that and just going for things. Basically, I was following my heart and my love. So my husband had moved to London and I followed. I moved from Helsinki, so I left my home country. I rented my apartment, moved to London to be with the man that we had been 2 years long distance, and he wanted to break up with me before I moved. So I was shit scared, to go. He was like, I don't feel that you're committed to this relationship. And I was like, no, no, no. I am actually now finally moving. So I had a lot to prove to him as well that I was committed. So taking a lot of courage to leave my home, study a new profession, and think about starting my own business while moving in with a guy who wanted to break up with me. So now, looking back at that story, I think I was a little courageous and crazy at that time. But, like I said, I only saw the fears. Like, I was like, okay, I insecure? Why didn't I do this earlier? We have so many things limiting our like self-worth and trusting ourselves and seeing our greatness and courage. So these were major changes for me, and I don't mean that all of you need to go through the same. Maybe you've gone through some similarities. But yes, in the chat, if you can relate to any part of the story, where you've been or maybe where you're heading at. But I also want you to notice like how to build that courage. And for me, it meant planning, like figuring one thing at a time. So when I got more clarity around my vision, my needs and my priorities, my desires, what I wanted to do next, that clarity helped me to be more certain, building confidence in that vision, and then having courage. It wasn't just like, boom, everything just hit me and I was all of a sudden courageous. It was the journey.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's exactly how I felt. When you first told me your story, I was thinking, oh my goodness. Because when I met you face to face, I wouldn't have guessed anything. You know, we were having so much fun that day when you and I met, and we had such a great conversation, even though it was short. And then we ran into each other at the airport, and I was like, oh my goodness, I need to get to know Kaisa. And when I got to know you a little bit more, I was like, oh my goodness, that is so amazing and courageous. That was exactly what I told you. I was like, that was so courageous. And you still took a step back and you're like, really?
I don't know.
Yes, that would take a lot of courage. I don't know that I would have done that, you know. I would have been secure in my home and, you know, in my little job and not wanting to move away for somebody. But your heart was big enough and you had the foresight enough to say, you know what, I'm going to try it and see what happens, you know. And I love that. I absolutely love and admire that, you know, somebody out there is actually doing it and then helping other people overcome their fears, because, you know, that's really what it comes down to. We're wired to look at the negative because we want to survive, right? Yeah. So when we go into survival mode, we just think, oh, I haven't done this, or I better be careful, or nope, don't do that, it's going to hurt you. But to actually have the courage to step out and try, so what if it hurts you? You're not going to die necessarily, right? Well, it depends on what you're doing. I'm not saying go do something crazy.
If you go take a bungee jump, look that you're buckled up.
If you're into that, that's great, but I didn't condone that.
Yes.
No, I'm just saying, you know, do the thing that you know is going to be great, that is going to do something for you. Why not? You have one life. Life is now. Go for it. Do something. So I'm excited. I'm excited to dive deeper into this. I really, really want to know from our audience. If you're going to be at the Courage to Lead Summit, raise your hand. Let us know. Hey, I'll be there. I'll see you there. So excited to see you there. Say hi. Give me a shout out. I want to give you a shout out when you're in there. Also, let us know what you want us to ask or what you want us to cover when we're in there, because this is for you. Yeah. Kaisa and I have amazing conversations, and we get to, you know, learn from the best, and we get to bring that to you. This is all for you. So let us know, what do you want us to cover? What's on your mind when you think courage? What comes to your mind? What is it that you would like to learn more about, or what is a strategy that you're thinking about? Let us know. We want to make this as much for you as it is for everyone else. And I'm sure if you're thinking of something, someone else is probably thinking it as well.
Yes, totally. So good that you said that, because it's so easy to keep things ourselves. And that was my biggest hurdle, because I was alone. Well, I was in a relationship, but my boyfriend, now husband, was so far away. So I was just trying to figure things out on my own and keeping my worries, my fears for myself, and not asking for help. And that just built up the stress, feeling lonely, like being overwhelmed by all the decisions and options that I had on my plate. So it's so important to share because there is hundreds and thousands, if not millions, of you who are experiencing the same things. We think that we are, unique in our situation, and we do have all the a different experience, but there are universal things that most of us are experiencing. So good to share that. And like Melisa was saying, we have 20 experts who are like thought leaders, very experienced coaches, mentors, business owners, entrepreneurs that we get to interview. So drop us your questions, all the areas that you want to have more confidence, more clarity, more certainty. So we get to ask those experts who are joining us for the Courage to Lead Unlocked show next week.
Yes, absolutely. Let us know, what do you want to learn? Use us. We are there to interview them. They already gone through it. They're successful. They've overcome things. What do you want to know? That's what this is for. We are doing this just as service to you, providing value. What value can we give you? Let us know. That's what we're here for today. And thank you so much for talking about your courageous journey, Kaisa. We can talk about my courageous journey next time, but I know we wanted to keep it short, so
yes.
We will leave that with you guys now. We'll probably go live tomorrow. Did we?
Yes. We'll go live tomorrow and hear about your journey. It's very different to mine. So you being courageous in your way, oh my God, just making things happen. I'm so grateful that I have met you and hearing from your story, your experiences, because that's when we get to learn from others and it's so good. So drop us your questions now, and tomorrow we'll meet tomorrow, so you can also think about and explore your situation now in the next 24 hours. Like, okay, what is actually happening for you in your life at the moment? Where are you? Like reflecting on that, and then finding those areas that you would like us to help you go to the next level. Build that a bit more courage in your life, career, business, relationships. What is the area?
Yeah, absolutely. And if you haven't signed up for the Courage to Lead show yet, link is in my bio. We'll post the link here as well. Make sure that you get in there. It's a free event. And if by chance you don't want to, you can't make it, get the VIP package, get those recordings. That's what they're there for. They're for you. So let us know if you have any questions. We'd love to hear from you. And I hope everyone has a wonderful, wonderful day.
Yes, and acknowledging those micro courage moments that you have during the day.
Yes, so good. We'll talk more about that tomorrow too. Thank you, Kaisa.
Yes,
See you later.
Thank you, Melisa. See you tomorrow. And remember to register. We'll drop the links.
Yes, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. And here, Facebook as well. I'll drop the link for you to sign up for the Courage to Lead Unlocked show coming up next week. And see you tomorrow.